After another day of uncertainty, we now know that the NBA playoffs will continue, but the Raptors and Celtics will not start their second-round series today. In fact, no NBA teams will take to the court in a continued stand against systemic racism and police brutality. Here are the events that brought us to this point.
The Milwaukee Bucks did not come out for warm-ups.
It was a historic moment in pro sports on Wednesday when Milwaukee Bucks players boycotted an NBA playoff game to protest police brutality towards black people. This came after Jacob Blake, another black man who was shot by an officer in America. The Bucks' actions had a ripple effect around the world.
Despite the overwhelming plea for change, there has been no action. So our focus today cannot be on basketball.
Shortly after the Bucks boycotted their game, the NBA announced that the rest of the games Wednesday night were postponed. The other 4 teams who were scheduled to play that night were already in the middle of discussing not playing. In the MLB, the Milwaukee Brewers and Cincinnati Reds boycotted their game. Then the Mariners, Dodgers, and Giants all canceled their games in protest. While other teams still chose to play, the games weighed heavy on some players.
I think the most difficult part is to see, people still don't care. And for this to continuously happen, it just shows just a hate in people's heart.
WNBA team the Washington Mystics showed up to their game wearing shirts that spelled out Jacob Blake, with 7 red dots on their backs symbolizing the amount of times Blake was shot. No WNBA games would be played. The NHL continued with their playoff games, but held a moment of reflection that was met with great criticism.
I don't think we should be here. I think the NHL should postpone the games. I really feel that we should be more supportive of Black Lives Matter.
Major League Soccer players boycotted 5 games Wednesday night in a collective statement against racial injustice. In the NFL, the Detroit Lions, Indianapolis Colts, and a number of other teams canceled their practices for Thursday to protest the shooting of Jacob Blake.
She's now ahead.
Tennis star Naomi Osaka pulled out of her semifinal at the Western and Southern Open in solidarity with the movement. Today, NBA refs in the bubble walked in protest. This took place while the players and the NBA Board of Governors held separate meetings to discuss their next steps. The teams voted to continue the playoffs, but want to find new ways to make an impact. Games are expected to resume this weekend. The WNBA also announcing that they will not be playing today. Now, after facing criticism and calls from the Hockey Diversity Alliance to suspend play, the NHL also postponed their playoff games today. More MLB teams canceled their games today, including the Toronto Blue Jays and Boston Red Sox, who were scheduled to play in Buffalo. And finally, Friday is Jackie Robinson Day in MLB, which was supposed to be celebrated April 15th, but it was rescheduled till tomorrow due to the delayed start of the season. Lindsay Dunn, City News.